Hello, my name is Felicia Thomas, and I am the creator of this channel. I just wanted to come on real quick and explain why I decided to do this particular type of podcast. And it was basically due to what I'm noticing in therapy sessions and social sessions and just in general in the world, that the mystery that surround some therapies or therapy or therapeutic interactions and whatnot are just getting really too convoluted and confusing for a lot of people. So when I thought of how they do that, I wanted to be able to explain to people that surviving or conquering, overcoming, getting through life is a lot of hard work, but not impossible. Not impossible. It's where you go to therapy or you seek counseling or help, any kind of, way to help you process is another word we use for thinking through and simplifying and making usable anything that comes across in your life, in your trauma, in your relationship, as you are parenting. Because what happens is we forget that if we are raised in an environment that is not ideal, whatever that means, ideal, there are things you just don't know. I love it when I hear people say, "Oh, I want to be a good mother," or "I want to be a great dad," but they come from environments where they have no examples of that, and they put pressure on themselves to be a good father or a good mother, or or these things, when in fact our development is supposed to teach us that, and if it does not, we don't know how to do it. But we're out here trying to do things we have no point of reference for. And that's why you go to therapy. One of the many reasons you go, because that's where you will get the recommendations for books to read, skills that you want to develop. Now, the one thing that I do like to let people know is when you go to therapy from a less than ideal, basically an abusive or neglectful or not at all, for foster care or situation like that, is you already know how you don't want to parent. You already know what kind of person you don't want to be because you've been around all of the negativity. But that's only 50% of the game. The rest of it you have to acquire because you don't get it magically and saying, "Hey, I just won't do to my kids what was done to me." But then you don't know how to properly and with balance parent your own children. A lot of times when we come from trauma, me being the first example of that, you will overdo it or underdo it because balance is something that human beings search for throughout all our experiences, and going to a therapist is one way to help you find that balance. So how did you do that, or how did successful people manage to get past their beginnings that were of course not ideal? Is you sat down and got some help, learn some coping skills, some emotional resilience skills, some intellectual intelligence kind of a situation. You just go and you ask for what it is you don't have. Hard part is for a lot of people is realizing they don't know they don't have it. You want to believe you got it. You believe you got it all together because I'm not who raised me. I'm better than that. I know how to do that. I survived that. I'm a boss. And that may all be true. But where did you learn how to be a kind and gentle parent? How did you learn how to build self esteem if you don't have self esteem and don't know what self esteem is? Right? It's not just, "Oh, I'm beautiful and I believe I'm beautiful." Self esteem is so much deeper than aesthetics. So this is where we're at. We're here going to talk about it, about talk to successful people who are not afraid to share their stories. That's the other thing we deal with. A lot of people want to run around and be successful and wonderful and just pretend they've been perfect their whole life, or just pretend they came from a perfect household, or I don't want everybody to know my business, or blah blah blah. But that's how we help each other. That's how we are created as human beings, to be here to help each other, to give each other information that, hey, don't do that, that won't work. Right, I learned a few things, in my own parenting experience, in my own thing. I tried that, that wasn't a good thing. Maybe you want to try it this way, it might work a little differently, by talking and communicating to each other. That's all. So I'm gonna, find some more friends of mine who are not afraid to share their stories, and are proud of their experiences and being able to move through this life from a not ideal or perfect or normal or whatever any of that means. But conquering and being able to overcome and create a life well lived. See you next time. Feel free to like and subscribe. We've got more coming.